during the early 30s, and I was with my father and Judge Edward P. Cox. My father used to travel all over the county. Judge Cox was writing a history of the county and was taking him to the historic places. They took me to Eppington. I thought it was a magnificent home. It was a colonial mansion, and it was one of the few colonial mansions in the county. I'm a descendant of Susanna Epps from William Gates.
Okay.
And she was the great-granddaughter of Francis Epps I. I'm also, my sixth great-grandmother was Anne Randolph, and her sister was Jane Randolph, who was the mother of Thomas Jefferson. So Jefferson is kin to me through the Randolphs, but I don't have Jefferson blood, but I have the Randolph blood that he has. She was a lovely lady, but she was insistent on things staying as they were. She, when she cut the timber, she didn't do a clear cut, but she did a selective cut so they would be kept and it would be beautiful all the time. And she insisted on the house not being any different from what it was when we see it now. She told me one time, make sure they don't glitz this house up like they've done all the homes in Williamsburg. But she loved to patrol her property and keep people off of it. There were no trespassing signs, and you were not welcome on her property without her invitation. And she had a old World War II Jeep that she went from place to place, and if you were there hunting without permission, you would get a shot across the bow. Well, I used to hunt with Louis Faden, and Louis was a clerk of the circuit court, and his mother was a Cox, and so there was a family relationship between them and Eppington. And we would hunt turkeys, and he would come in. Usually we'd come in off the river. It was about a mile from the house, and then we'd go up to the house, and she always had a very delicious breakfast for us, an old-fashioned Southern breakfast, including eggs and bacon and sausage and potatoes and all the good things. She was known for her projects too, and so everybody who was entertained there was very pleased and loved to do it. And sometimes they would have a little julep on the front porch, which was a Southern tradition. She was, it was through her nephew, Parker Cherry, that the county obtained the property at your insistence and your dedicated interest in having the property for the county. The county was able to obtain it. She wanted the property to be maintained and owned by the county. She wanted it in present condition. She didn't want it changed. And she insisted on it. I would think she would insist that it be repaired, but she left it just like it was. Although they did put an addition on the back in the early 1900s. Well, I thought that Carl DeLoth, who was the architectural historian for the state of Virginia, recommended that the property be shown in its present condition so they could determine and teach from it persons who would like to know more about our architecture of this particular building and what was there and how it was different periods it was changed from time to time. Well, I remember telling the board that if you can't get excited about preserving Eppington, you can't get excited about anything. And I think it's one of the most cherished properties we have in the county. It is indicative of what life was like at that time, and as a result, many people can learn from how Eppington was used and controlled and how it's been kept. Fortunately, just think of a frame building being this old and lasting. Well, I hope that someday maybe we can restore 2 or 3 rooms and bring them up to par and have it furnished by a period for furniture at the time of Francis Epps' 6th life.
And possibly build back the schoolhouse and the kitchen?
Oh yeah, I think that's somewhere, and you could use it as a visitor center and also as a place for the education of children, and similar to other historic places, they'd kind of go there first and find out something about the property before you take a view.
Well, thank you very much, Judge Gates.
Thank you, Marilyn, for all that you've done.